What's up, family? Hey, this video is inspired by a dear friend of mine. Um, I was in the military years ago, like a lifetime ago, and we had the opportunity of talking on the phone yesterday. And she was just reminding me of some stuff, and just we was just going down memory lane. This early 2000s, and so this is the 90s, the mid 90s. I'm getting old, excuse me. This is the mid 90s. And anyways, my son, who was like 3 years old at the time, he had a crush on her, and he would always say that she was thirsty. He couldn't even say the word sexy. He was saying thirsty, And she reminded me of that yesterday, and it was just like so funny because it's like, man, where was this kid getting this stuff from? He was like 3 years old. It's like, who talks like that as a little kid? He told her that he loved her and that he was in love with her. And she's like, how do you know what love is? And he was like, because God told him. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Turn up. That's what we're going to talk about. Turning up. And we're just going down memory lane, all the crazy, stupid stuff we did, as young people trying to find our way through life. And just got my wheels spinning. And I was thinking about, man, all the times that I would go out and more mature people would see me and they would want to sit and talk to me about something. And man, they would be so amazed at my ability to listen and my willingness to listen to them and the insight and understanding and wisdom that I had to share with them at that time in my early 20s. And they were just blown away by that, because it didn't match my outward appearance. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. My outward appearance, man, I was a hoe. I wasn't even a whore. I was indignified enough to be a whore. I was a hoe. I was a lush. Man, I could drink alcohol. I had a high tolerance for alcohol, an extremely high tolerance for alcohol. Man, I was just loud and ignorant, and just, I thought that's what it I thought that's what I was supposed to do. When I walked into the club or into the party, throw my hands up in the air, throw some stupid signs, and have a bottle in my hand, and just stupid stuff. Just being loud and ignorant. Not even ignorant. I wasn't even smart enough to be ignorant. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're going somewhere. Turn up. And I sit back and I reflect on the generation now and them turning up. I look at my son now, who's getting ready to have a birthday this month, and he's pushing 29 years of age. And it's like, man, I can't believe that he's this age. I can't believe that these kids are grown. They're not kids no more. They're adults. You know what I mean? He's on his own doing his thing, and I'm proud of him. Like I am all the kids and just this generation. But I sit back and I listen to them talking about turning up and all this other stuff. And man, turning up is arriving with bottles and drinking and, just being the life of the party and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, you know what I mean? And it's like, man, when I was that age and even younger, I was doing that. You know what I mean? Man, I was having sex in the 7th grade. You know what I mean? Just stupid, just clueless. You know what I mean? Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And now that I'm a little older, a little more mature, a little wiser, and a little more insightful, man, I ain't got the energy for all of that anymore. And what I mean, and I was telling my friend D this yesterday, it's like, what? I have the energy for that. I just don't want to waste my energy on that anymore. That's not who I am anymore. That was like a different lifetime ago. That was a different me, a different phase of who I am. And man, I didn't even have a clue who I was back then. I had no understanding as to who I was. Although if you would have asked me at the time, I would have told you who I thought I was and what I thought life was about and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And man, I could have gave you a great spiel. You know what I mean? But I had no idea at that time that I would be doing the work that I'm doing. I had no idea at that time that I would have the ministry that I have now. And when I say ministry, I'm not talking about preaching. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm talking about. You know, we all have a ministry, and that ministry is being here for others. That ministry is showing up and being here as a role model, as a mentor, as a guiding light of hope and just everything else positive to show others that they can make it. You know what I mean? And so when I reflect on Turn Up, you know, and the kids, you know, just getting crunk and just all stupid, you know what I mean? It's like, man, how do we teach people to turn up and teach people to turn up in a positive, productive way? And when I'm talking about turning up, I'm talking about turn up and be accountable. Turn up and be present in the moment. Turn up and be a beacon of hope, a beacon of joy, a guiding light for others. That's turning up to me. You know what I mean? We have to grow past the crazy stuff. You know what I mean? We have to grow past the drinking and the stupid stuff. You know, and again, there's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? There's a time and place for everything. But if our whole life revolve around turning up and the aspect of getting drunk, getting high, and, you know, chasing tail and all that other stuff, man, you ain't turning up. You ain't turning up. You know what I mean? Not at all. You know, if you're not being able to help somebody, if you're not in the mind frame of being a role model and a mentor and a beacon of hope and joy, man, you're not turning up. If you're not present and accountable in this present moment, you know, you're not turning up. You're not here in the moment. You're not living in the moment. You're not present in the moment. If all you focus on is what you shoulda, woulda, coulda did, if all you're focused on is all the bad stuff that's happened to you, you ain't turning up. You can get drunk all you want to. That's not turning up. You could get high all you want to. That ain't turning up. You could turn the music up as loud as you want. You could get as crunk, as hype, as whatever you want. That still ain't turning up. That's an immature, childish mentality of turning up. And it's crazy because, you know, as you're growing up, you know, we think that we have to be the life of the party, and we believe that we are the life of the party, you know what I mean? And that the party don't get started until we get there, you know what I mean? Because we going to be loud, we going to be ignorant, and, you know, we going to come in with some bottles, and we going to do what we do, you know what I mean? And I sit back and it's like, wow, we're so willing to do that. So easy for us to do that. And so hard for us just to show up and be present and accountable and turn up in an emotional, spiritual, intellectual way to help somebody else grow. To be a beacon of hope, a guiding light for somebody else. We'll give them a bottle, we'll hand them a blunt or whatever they smoke, you know what I mean? We'll crank up some music, you know what I mean? And we'll start looking at skirts or whatever it is you're interested in, you know what I mean? We'll do all these other things to distract us from whatever it is that we really need to deal with. Whatever issues we need to resolve, whatever things we need to let go, we can't really do that for the most part, man. You know what I mean? Because we're not emotionally, spiritually mature enough and intellectually, I can't even talk. We're not mature emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually enough to do that. And so we'll do all these other things to take our minds off of these other things. You know what I mean? And so we'll spend years doing the same stuff. We'll spend years having the same issues because we never resolved them. Because we were so busy drinking, partying, smoking, chasing tail, you know what I mean? Listening to music and all that other stuff. And I'm not saying listening to music is bad. But again, there's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place for everything. We have to learn to stop being distracted. We have to learn to stop allowing other people to distract us. We have to learn to sit and say, hey, you know what? Hey. And for me, this is hard. It has been hard. It's so easy for me to turn up for everybody else. It's so easy for me to be present and accountable for everybody else. It's so easy for me to be that beacon of hope, that beacon of joy, a beacon of love for everybody else. But it was so hard for me to do that for myself. It was so hard for me to turn up for myself. And the reason why it was so hard for me to turn up for myself is because I didn't find myself worthy. I didn't think that I was worthy of love. I didn't think that I was worthy of the positive affirmations. I didn't think that I was worthy of being a beacon of hope, a beacon of joy, and all these other things for other people. Although I was already doing it, I never saw myself as being that type of a role model. I never saw myself as being that type of person with that ministry. You know what I mean? But now that I'm a little older, a little more mature and stuff, I understand who I really am. And my ministry is helping others heal. My ministry is being a role model and a mentor for others, and to take all the things that I've gone through in my past, all the things that I've studied, and use all of those tools to help others. You know what I mean? And so you have to learn to embrace every aspect of your life, all the good, all the bad, all of it. You have to embrace all of it because there's a reason why it all happened. There's a reason why you have all that information. And so as you harness all of that information, it strengthens you. You become more powerful as you harness all of the things you have within you, and you're now able to use those things for the benefit of others. My hope and prayer is that you find your life worthy and valuable to turn up for it. That you find other people worthy and valuable, and that you'll turn up for them. And again, when I talk about turning up, I'm talking about being there for them spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and physically. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.